Hi, I'm Edwin.
Hi, I'm Tyler. Today we're going to teach you about MicroPython for EV3. For setup, you will need a micro SD card to flash MicroPython to, which you can insert into the robot. Then you need to download Visual Studio Code and obtain the EV3 MicroPython extension.
At the beginning of your program, you have to import any modules or libraries you will use. Most of these come with EV3 MicroPython, and it will automatically put these at the top of your program when you first create it. Uh, they will let you use the different commands we will go over.
This is where you state all of your objects and their names. The objects include your motors, sensors, brick, and drive base. You will need to initialize any objects you want to use and give them a simple and easy to understand name.
There are many different commands you can use to control the robot. To use a command, you need to type the name of your sensor slash motor you are using, then put a period, and then type whatever you want to do with that motor or sensor. And then in parentheses, put any parameters the command might need. We use the run command that will allow you to turn a motor on and then at a certain speed. The hold command is a type of brake. There are three types: hold, stop, and brake, and all with different effects. For the gyro, we only really use the gyro.angle command. It returns the angle which you can use to compare to different things. For our color sensor, we use the color command, which can measure the color. Uh, it turns it returns a color that you can check to use for different things. For the drive base, we only use the .drive command. The drive base is basically the move tank block in Mindstorms, and it can move both the wheels at once. The inputs are the speed and the rate it turns. If you put in a 0 for the turn rate, it just goes straight.
To make something similar to a MyBlock in EV3, you need to define something, DEF. In doing this, you tell Python to save this for later. In the example of gyrostate, we tell it to define gyrostate and create variables for it, like distance, speed, target angle, etc. Then to use it, we type the name we defined and numbers, which set the variables. This is similar to the inputs on one of our MyBlocks. These are conditional statements. While true is basically the same thing as a loop. You can replace the true with anything, like number equals 0. While number equals 0, the robot will do whatever is in the while statement until the number is not equal to 0. The break command will stop the while loop even if the condition is still true. If statements say, if this is true, then do this. If not, don't do this. Else statements come after. They say, since you skipped the if statement, do this. This is sometimes called an if-else statement. This acts like a switch in EV3. Elif statement is else if. It is similar to both if and else statements in that it needs a requirement, like an if statement, and it comes after an if statement that was false.
Uh, this is our forward inch function. First, we define the forward inch so that we can use it later. Then we reset the left and right motor angles. Then we tell the motors to run at the speed we want. The target position line is converting how many inches we want to run into degrees that the motor can read. While statement says while the motor degree that we are at is less than the motor degrees that we want, keep looking. While the motor degree that we are at is greater than the motor degrees that we want, we exit the loop and stop the motors.
If something goes wrong in your code, it will show up in the debugging menu. It will tell you what went wrong and where. There are many messages that can be returned, such as syntax errors. Syntax errors are the most common and happen when Python language rules are not followed. This usually means you misspelled something or forgot a symbol. Another error is the attribute error, which is when you try to do something that doesn't exist. For example, if you tell a sensor to run, because only motors can run, you would get an error. That's all. Thanks for watching.
Check out the link in the description for more information.